Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 24th of February. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Soul Pattinson, IOOF, Aristocrat, Auckland International and IGO Group. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter every Thursday, but our better ideas come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you're getting that one. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you'd like to have a broking account with me and have me help you and guide you when it is time to buy and when it is time to sell, then please let me know. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got a daily chart here of Soul Pats. So it had been in an uptrend up till about 6 months ago, and then we got in my opinion, a clear sell signal. So if we just zoom in, basically what you're looking at is we had a decline and then a snap back up to test the old high, and then it failed. Now that wouldn't necessarily be a sell signal because sometimes the shares can then congest a little bit and then get going again. But instead of tracking sideways, it fell and basically took out this low. So in my opinion, once it did that, then that was the clear sell signal, and it's been downtrending ever since. So look, we'll get bounces along the way, of course, but it is too early to say if it can start forming a low. Preferably, we need to see the volatility die down. So we've had some sort of big volatile moves here. It has started to die down a little bit, but ideally we then need to see it base. So, ultimately, if we look at this, there's still no way of knowing if it's going to start basing here or if it starts to get a bit lower. Okay, IOOF. So sort of interesting over the last several months. I mean, this again, clear sell signal. This is called a bearish engulfing pattern. So here was the prior day. You've had the stock open up higher and then get sold off heavily and close below the low of that prior day. And this is very much an extreme example. So in my opinion, that was a clear sell signal. But again, if you wanted to give it time, have a look what it does in the next few days. So day after tries to rally, can't, tries to then rally for another few days. But again, if you're looking at this move in comparison to this big bar, it's not even recovering 50%. So it's telling you that this thing's really struggling. And of course, when it breaks here, you've got that other sell signal. So then it continued to drop. Over the last few weeks though, it has looked a lot more encouraging. So we've had a bounce here to take out what would have been resistance here around 370. Came back, then again just held in really nicely here. If you're ignoring what the broader market's doing, I mean the whole market's very risky at the moment, but assuming it was a normal market, you'd treat yesterday's move as a buy just on the break through this little range here. But given everything in the market, I think it's safer to look at these levels here. So the most recent range, you got this little peak, you got this low here. So I think if we can get through this peak, then that's a safer buy signal. And obviously if it goes under this low, that would be a negative for breaking support and would be a sell signal. Okay, Aristocrat. So look, this is one of our favourite stocks. We did sell it in December. So basically I was looking at this trend, very nice trend, and then it finally broke the prior low at $44. So if you've got an uptrend, it needs to be making higher highs, higher lows, and quite simply, when it broke this low, it was time to take profits. And as we can see, it's been trending lower ever since. So we've had this decline, then it's given us another little sort of consolidation and then continued in the direction of the trend. So broke lower, tried to rally to the underneath of this pattern and has come back again. Most recently, I mean, yesterday we saw a bounce at this prior low, so there was always, going to be some kind of buying stepping in, but I think the risk is still to the downside at the moment. Yeah, look, we could see it potentially. There's a lot of price action going on around here, near sort of $34, $35. So potentially we might even see it find support there. Wherever it does want to find support, whether it's here, even down here, I'd be looking to buy it at some stage. But at the moment, the risk is still to the downside. Okay, Auckland International. So as we could see, there's been a clear range here. Sort of broke to a new high, consolidated, but instead of making the next move up, it actually broke down, so that's a negative. Now it's back in the range, so I think you just have to assume that the risk is back down here towards the bottom of that range. Hopefully it finds some support, and then potentially that's a buy, and then you can have a stop obviously under here, because if it was to break that would be a negative. Okay, IGO. So look, this is another one that I like. I'm looking to get back into this one at some stage. So most recently we had this very nice sort of flat consolidation, the break above 10, very nice swift move from 10 to 13, and then we've got the big sell-off here. So what we've got is a sharp sell-off, a struggle to get higher, and then a continuation on the way down there. So you've got basically downside risk still. This is one I'm also, as I mentioned, looking to get back into. Ideally, if it can come back near $10 and base out there and find some support, potentially that's the place to buy. And also, if you just do a bit of a trend line thing as well, I mean, that also takes you back to about $10. So ideally, if we could see it do something around here, that would be the buy, and then you could just place a stop under 10, because if it was to break under these lines, that would be a negative. All right, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through. I'll try to cover it next Thursday for you.